There is one story that will change the way you view everything. It will help you to unlock profound new insights into what the self-actualization journey looks like, as well as gain a brand new understanding of your mind and the world around you. This story is Plato's allegory of the cave. And over the next 10 minutes, we're going to break down this story, apply it to your own life, and learn all the lessons and the hidden gems in there that you can take to building your ideal life. Before we dive in, please make sure you've given the channel a subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on a video, give this one a like if you're enjoying it, and let's go. To begin this lesson, we're going to start by painting a picture. Imagine this: a group of people who've been chained up inside a dark cave their entire lives. They're literally stuck, facing a wall, unable to turn their heads or even move. All they can see are the shadows that get projected onto the wall in front of them. Those shadows are their entire reality. Behind the prisoners is a fire burning 24/7. And then between the fire and the prisoners, we've got a road where people are walking, they're carrying objects, they're walking and leading animals. The prisoners can't see any of that. All they can see are the shadows that get cast onto the wall. To them, the shadows are the reality because that's all they've ever known. The prisoners hear the voices, but they think the sounds come from the shadows because that's all they can see. And so their brain is jumping to what seems like a logical conclusion. Everything that they know about the world is based on those blurry, flickering shadows on the wall. One day, one of the prisoners gets loose, and despite warnings from the others, he turns around and sees the fire, the people walking by, and he realizes that the shadows were just illusions, that there is a whole world outside the cave that he never even knew existed. This new perspective is painful at first. The sunlight is blinding, but as his eyes adjust, he starts to see reality for the first time. After realizing the truth, this freed prisoner feels this pull to go back into the cave and tell the others what he's seen. He wants to show them that their reality, the shadows on the wall, is just a distorted version of the real world. When he returns, they don't believe him. In fact, they think he's crazy. They are so comfortable with the shadows that they can't even imagine anything else. All right, quick confession. I might be about to tweak the story a little bit here, but it's going to bode well with the rest of the lesson, so let's keep going. So our frustrated prisoner, he's starting to get annoyed because no one wants to believe him. He has the truth, but no one cares. They don't want to hear him. So he does the only thing he can do in that situation. He sets them free. He takes off their shackles and their binds so that they no longer have to stare at the wall. But to his dismay, they keep staring at the wall. They don't want to listen to him. They think he's a heretic. One prisoner, though, is slightly more curious than the rest. And he slightly turns his head, but as soon as that light from the fire hits his eyes, it causes him pain and he snaps back to staring at the wall. He's unwilling to endure that pain again, and he convinces himself that that pain was punishment for looking away, for straying off the normal path. This isn't some kiddie story that Plato's sharing about prisoners singing Kumbaya in a cave. He is dropping some serious wisdom here about how our perceptions shape our reality and about what the journey to self-actualization looks like. Those prisoners in the cave, that's us. Stuck in our routines, locked into our thought patterns, and chained by our beliefs and fears and what society is trying to tell us is important. The shadows, they're the things we think are real. The news, other people's opinions, societal expectations, and the stories we're telling ourselves. Just like in the cave, those shadows aren't reality. They're illusions standing in the way of actual truth. Breaking free from the cave starts with self-awareness and ends with self-actualization. It starts by questioning everything you've been told, all of your beliefs, your assumptions, and figuring out what is real for you. It's uncomfortable, just like the prisoner's first taste of sunlight. It stings. But once you step into the light, once you see the world for what it really is, there's no going back. In this allegory, he's showing us that we have a choice. We can stay in blissful ignorance, trapped in our reality and staring at a wall, or we can step out of the cave, understand our minds, and break free from the herd. So back to the story and the prisoners staring at the wall. In society, they're the people that are attached to their stories. They're the ones who refuse to change or update their beliefs. The person who breaks free, that's the one that's willing to grow, to evolve, and to change. Plato teaches us that you can't rescue people who don't want to be helped. You can only invest in inspiration. For some people, their entire identity revolves around the story they've been telling themselves. But what they don't realize is that that story, that narrative is trapping them in their own self-constructed reality. Maybe they've been telling themselves that the world is unfair, and because of that, their brain is constantly looking for evidence to reinforce this belief. The problem with this is that they keep attracting things that confirm their story. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because they're refusing to take their eyes off the cave wall. At some point in your self-actualizing journey, you're going to realize that leveling up doesn't come without its setbacks. The price that you pay for seeing things clearly is alienation from others. You're going to leave people behind, be dismissed, be seen as crazy, be labeled a heretic, and treated like an outcast. But the alternative is to stay staring at the wall, knowing that there's more out there, knowing that that's a false reality, but just staying trapped because it's safe. If you try to rescue people that are just content with their delusions, you're going to frustrate yourself. It's going to be like banging your head against a brick wall. The best way that you can help others is by first helping yourself. The rising tide lifts all boats. Become the best, the wisest, and the most actualized version of yourself, and you'll inspire others to do the same. Clinging to a belief just because it's what we've always believed and shutting down anything that challenges it, that's just like how the church reacted to new ideas back in the day. When people suggested the world wasn't flat or that the earth wasn't the center of the universe, they were accused of heresy. People were literally burned at the stake for daring to suggest anything outside the reality that the church was clinging to. Just like the prisoners in Plato's cave, the church was just staring at shadows on the wall and punishing anyone for daring to think different. Each of us has our own version of reality. If we're driven by ego and trapped in our stories, then we miss the opportunity to increase our awareness, to level up and to expand. Being open to learning, holding our beliefs loosely, and being self-governed opens up the doors for us to grow, to learn from our experiences, to keep evolving and to become the best version of ourselves. The problem with clinging to your narrative is that you're just seeing shadows projected onto a wall and missing the bigger picture. Every story has three sides: my side, your side, and the truth. If you are only seeing the negatives in an event, you'll believe it happened to you, and you'll stay stuck as a victim until you have the wisdom to question your perceptions and see the other side. Your own ignorance is just trapping you in pain. Our beliefs, our truths, especially those that cause us pain, should be questioned. The pain itself is feedback that you're missing something, that there's more to the story and you're just not quite seeing the full picture. Here's the deal. If you believe you're not good enough, you won't be. Our thoughts and our beliefs shape our reality. They're like self-fulfilling prophecies. This belief that you're not good enough will lower your self-worth, will make you play small and to act different. And you're just going to create this whole narrative and create this self-fulfilling prophecy where you aren't good enough. But it's not because you lack anything. It's just your belief is creating that reality. If you change your belief, you change your reality. I used to believe that worms tasted like chocolates because my brother told me so. Then one day I ate a worm and I realized they absolutely do not taste like chocolate. To change a belief, all you need is new evidence to come to light. So stop running this narrative of I'm not good enough and start finding the other side. Start finding the reasons why you are good enough, where you are good enough, and what you are good enough for. Change your story and you're going to change your reality. Our stories keep us stuck in pain, in our circumstances, in our limitations. But here's the key. Changing the lens with which we are looking at the past and trying to find the other side of the equation, that is our version of leaving the cave. Most people are stuck staring at a wall, looking at life through their own rose-tinted glasses, through their own stories. But you don't have to let their fears, their self-doubts, their projections, their thoughts around the world shape your reality. You have the power to do whatever you want with your life. The first step is empowering your mind and leaving the cave. If you are ready to stop staring at shadows, then let me be your guide. Subscribe to my channel, grab my books, or book in a one-on-one coaching call. These resources are all there to help get you where you want. All that's missing is you taking that first step. So what are you waiting for?